Happy May 4th, everybody, and may the 4th be with you. Even though it's actually the 5th now, so happy Cinco de Gringo, because Mexicans don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo. So in celebration of the holy day of Star Wars fans, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Stormtroopers.
And these last points, too accurate for sand people. Only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise.
And their horrible marksmanship, or in some cases, some people say their great marksmanship. Lots of commentary and fan theories on this already exist, along with the debate on whether or not they actually are hitting their targets for some reason. People who say that they are really good marksmen often point to specific scenes of them shooting and hitting their targets. The ones who say that they are horrible marksmen usually point out that the 5 or 6 scenes are the only scenes in the entire series of them hitting their targets. And others go into fan theory about the scene where they escape the Death Star in the first movie and how their plan was to actually track the ship leaving so they could get to their base, and therefore the Stormtroopers were told to miss on purpose. This doesn't explain why they miss their shots in a lot of other scenes throughout the series, but it is a theory. And so I wanted to expand on this. Another popular theory, and this actually does explain more of what you see, is that the Force is protecting certain characters. This is pretty much said explicitly in Rogue One, but it's the Force and, it's space magic, so it's protecting everybody else. Me, personally, I'm one of those who chalks it up to bad guys being terrible shots in every movie. It would be a shorter movie and much less satisfying if the good guy was killed because they were hitting their targets, you know what I mean? So, naturally, this is a thing in a lot of movies, but in Star Wars, I guess it's more fun for the fans to try to explain it better than that. Oh, also, my apologies if this resembles another fan theory, because I haven't actually read all of them. Okay, and what I'm basically saying as my own theory, unless somebody else said it first, is that the Stormtroopers have bad aim because the Empire doesn't need them to have good aim. Or at least it didn't. There's an interesting theory going around about the helmets, the scene in New Hope where Luke puts on, or they dress like Stormtroopers, and then Luke complains that he can't see anything with the helmets. I'm like, well, okay, that might be why they're such shitty shots, but why did the Empire give them helmets like this? And for me, it goes back to the prequels, where the clone troopers actually do seem to be better shots, but more specifically, Emperor Palpatine is actually playing both sides of the war in these movies. He's the general for both the Republic and the Trade Federation that wants to secede from them. I'm willing to take a big leap, however, that if the Trade Federation had ended up winning, there would have been an Order 67 or something to have their soldiers kill the Jedi. Also keep in mind that the Emperor, prior to taking over the galaxy, was not a military strategist, he was a politician. So, in his mind, brute force, sheer numbers, and the ability to have the deck stacked in his favor. Sorry, guys. You get my point, though. He didn't feel the need to invest in marksmanship training for the Stormtroopers, and that's why they're terrible shots. He apparently didn't feel the need to invest in helmets that they can see in either, but this actually seemed to be a better explanation to me, at least, as to why the Stormtroopers are constantly missing throughout the entire series. That and, I guess, the Force. Well, that's about it. Happy Cinco de Gringo, Cinco de Mayo. May the 4th be with you, and try not to kill anyone. Oh, and shout out to the YouTuber known as Talkin' Tuskens. He's the one that actually made those videos with the counters that I had in here, so you can see how many of them actually hit their targets. I would have never had the time to do that on my own, so shout out to him. Thank you for making those.